Hello again, everybody. It's me, as always, Josh the funkdoc, and this time we have a 4-player game on France, with which should be a strong set of players here. We have me, as always. We have Soledad, dcholt, and amitss1, all of which have been seen on this channel before, and these are all players with pretty strong records. Holt has to play in an alt account because I guess he lost the password to his main account, but he's another, close to 50% win rate player, as I recall. He's really good. And Soledad is over 50% win rate, I believe. I'm just going to pass on 3 and 4, not going to bid any more than the usual prices for those. 50 and 46 already drawn, so we know those will be the first 2 plants under the deck. And because this is France, 11 is always the next plant drawn. After 10. And 13 is removed from the deck on France. I'm not sure about 8 versus 9 here. I thought 8 might be better because I feel like a lot of these players can safely single build, so being able to build just one city with the 9 won't get you that much of a turn order advantage. That was my thinking with the 8, but the problem with it is 9 fits better with other plants, like 10 and 11, for example, so that may be what I should have considered here. 24 was the last plant that dropped, though. That wasn't on the board at the time when I got the 8. And 24 is a big deal. That's a terrible plant for a while. It's going to block the market a good bit here in the early going. That's going to make 11 pretty important, I think. Problem is, 8 and 11 don't go so well together. So Soledad did the obvious triple Paris build, which is very popular with the 3. I know that P-Steinx is also a huge fan of this build. He's willing to pay like $5 or $6 for the 3 plant just so he can do this. I'm not as big on it myself. I prefer to build 1 with the 3 whenever possible. I won't be able to afford Angers and La Rochelle, which is the build I would like to make here. I really don't want to corner myself in red is the problem. I think I'd rather just go for Angers and Nantes and see what happens. Not a build I usually make. I can also go for La Rochelle on the next turn. I don't normally like building to 3 cities with the 8 though. Ooh, Soledad actually. That's right. Because Soledad built above me, he has to buy a plant. Having 3 cities and only being able to power 1 is not good, so he needs the 10. The 10 should be bid on, by the way. That's what I think. I think Holt should actually bid for the 10 here. Not going to happen, though. 10 really deserved bidding. Unfortunately, I was not the player who could bid on it, or else I would have. 10 and the 8 are just horrible together, obviously. I have to bid for the 11. 11's worth a lot of money here. If I were to win this plant, I would just not run the 8, and I would just stick to running the 11. This should go for over 20 easily. And now 14 comes in, which makes me very happy, I will say. I mean, Soledad got a sweet deal with the 10, but the problem is these other plants coming in to block the market. I should have realized amitss would buy a plant, though. It makes sense to buy the 9 here, because the risk of dropping your opponent something good is not as great here. This leaves Holt in a bad spot. For sure. We have all of the pre-step 3 trash plants, except for 19, are on the market right now. Holt goes for the 7, which I think is the correct play there. The nice thing is, with this market, I still feel good about going for the 11. Because fossil fuels are not going to stay cheap. Something I could consider. Nah, I'd have to stick with just the... I need to make money. I'm just going to stick with this. Again, this is a bit of a downside that 8 and the 11 don't go very well together. But at the same time, 11 was still worth a lot of money here if people are willing to buy these other crap plants. And sadly, I am a few bucks short of La Rochelle, which is not great news for me. I can't help but feel like Soledad is in the strongest position here. amitss might want to build Orleans first, though. I think Soledad is kind of the more important player to block here at this stage. I mean, not that I'm entirely unbiased in saying that, obviously. But it's true. I mean, Soledad got an amazing deal on the 10 plant. Given, 11 went for almost 20 bucks, and then 9 and 7 got bought on turn 2. This market is what I wanted to see, though. I predict that 30 will not be bought at all yet. It may look great on paper to get 30 at cost, store it for later, but that's a problem with all these other trash plants on the market, and also it's just a lot of money to spend on a plant that you won't be able to use for a while yet. amitss is... What? Oh my god, what the fuck was that, amitss? I don't understand that at all. I do not understand that play at all. You just gave Holt a big drop. 22 is a big deal now. That just kind of pisses me off because it takes the advantage off my 11 to be able to get 22. Holt does not even buy 22? What? That is pretty strange to me. I'm worried amitss is going to build La Rochelle now. I mean, I should have built Nantes La Rochelle if I really wanted to play it safe here, but yeah. Let me see here what to do. I think I'm just going to stick to this. Unfortunately, this is keeping coal fairly cheap for Soledad. That's a problem. But oil is getting made more expensive, so that's good news at least. Okay, amitss builds Orleans. Good news for me. Now I can go to bottom of the turn order, probably get La Rochelle and Rennes on the next turn here. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, this isn't too bad for me. I at least get to go to bottom now. And Soledad has nowhere to go but further in the corner here, which is good. Holt not buying 22 was really strange to me, I gotta say. That makes me feel a lot better about my 11 here. Because now 22 is going to go for a fair price on the next turn. 32, see, like, people might downgrade the 22 because of 32 being next in the market. I would not. I want no part of 32. Look at all the oil being burned right now. Look at where it's at here. And it's going to take probably a couple more turns to even reach 6 cities to get full value from that 32. I don't want to buy 32 at all right now. Soledad buys 24 over 22? That's really surprising me, because 30 is going to get bought at some point here. Ooh, okay. 29. Now, this is a monster right here. I'll bid this up a fair amount, but I'm probably not going to be the player who ends up with this plant, because I can just go for 22 instead. 22 plus 11 is a nice combo. It's basically like 22 and 11 together. That's you're basically powering 4 cities for just 1 uranium. That's more or less that's basically equivalent to plant 28, but with better turn order. Again, that's one of those little combos to watch out for. All right, let's figure this out. Unfortunately, I cannot get to... Hold on. Actually, let me do this. Let me figure this out. 42... I'll click one more time on this because I can store 2 coal if I get it at this price. I'll give it up now, though. Ooh, 16. Neste. Well, that's a pretty fair price for 29, at least. Now Holt, I think, will put 22 up for bid, and I'll click on it. But I actually don't even have a huge need for a plant at this point, because I could just actually build to 4 here and burn coal, which would benefit me. Ooh, 30. I don't want 30. I don't even want 32. You know what? Screw it. I'll take 22 here. Right? This is the correct play, right? Yeah. And I think I should burn coal instead of uranium on this turn. Now, 25 comes in next, though. That makes it a little more interesting. Let me think about this. What makes this awkward is this, though. If I don't get 25 on the next turn, then... Actually, do I even need to buy a plant? This gets interesting now. I think we do it this way, though. And just store the coal. I will burn the uranium this turn. That's obviously much cheaper. But store the coal for later. Give me a little bit of an edge with 25. Although I don't think I'll be the player who ends up winning it. I think I'd rather be... I think I might be better off going for La Rochelle and Bordeaux instead of Rennes, actually. Might be better off that way. Or even better, La Rochelle and Limoges. That would do better for me, to be honest. That's gonna... Because that would really force amitss to go either north or eastward, which helps me a lot. Keep them from building into my shit. Actually, no, it would make them go Rennes. They would go Rennes then, but there's not much more much more they can do from Rennes. They stand to benefit long term more. amitss does from particularly eastward expansion, if he can swing that. So I think this is going to be La Rochelle and Limoges for me. I think Rennes is a little too greedy. Just really glad I ended up with 22 at cost after all that. And that no other nuclear plants have come on yet. Think about this. Trash is the most expensive resource right now, and everybody besides me has a trash plant. That makes me feel really good about my chances. I don't know what Holt's thinking about here. I mean, I think he's thinking about whether it's worth it to run the 30 at this point, and I'd say the answer to that is almost certainly no. If you buy 30 at this point, you're buying it to store it for later. Soledad is going to run the 24 this turn, for sure. So, just a second here. There we go. Just had to close the door. Don't know what's happening with Holt here. Still. This is weird. Like, my plants don't look very good on paper in terms of capacity, but in terms of efficiency, I'm actually pretty well off right now. I don't know what happened to Holt. Are we going to get another rage quit here? I mean, that would be weird. I don't think it's a rage quit. I suspect Holt really got pulled away from the computer for something. Because Holt's definitely not the rage quit type. I've played with them for a long time. And also, it wouldn't make sense for them to rage quit considering they chose to buy 30 over 22. Like, they had the choice of 22 there. Hello, Earth to DC Holt. Also, it looks like the Bears got the ball right now. Watching the playoff game here. Yep. Bears trying to run a 2-minute drill and see if they can take the lead before the half. Yeah, Holt is, again, using an unregistered account because they lost their password for their main account. which I believe is a DC Holt X. Okay, Holt's back. Yay. All right. Game will move on. All right, yeah, see, neighbor at door. I figured it was, getting pulled away from their computer for something. All right. Well, the game moves on now, at least. And yeah, as expected, Holt's not going to buy any trash yet. We'll just stay at 3 cities and wait for an opportunity later to build to 6 and make use of that 30 at a later point. What this means is it's not in my favor to push the game towards step 2. It's going to be in all the players with trash. It's going to be in their favor to push the game towards step 2. It'll be in my favor to try to stall at the bottom of the turn order here for step 2. What I can do is this. amitss1 will build Rennes now, I'd imagine. That's by far his cheapest city left. And he needs to get to 4 here to justify that 29 purchase. Get to 4 cities so he can power all 4 of those with his best plant there. amitss1 doesn't get to 4. Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, that hurts then. So what I can do next turn is this. We can try to put 25 up for bid, see what happens. And if I don't get 25, I can just burn my coal on the 8 next turn instead of having to buy uranium. So I can let uranium get $1 cheaper for the rest of the game. All right. Well, it's 12 coming in there. All right. I'll start at 30. It's clearly going to go for more than that. As cheap as coal is here, 25 is going to be a hot item. And also a plant that I don't need. This should go for over 40 easily. Once it gets past 40, I'll stop because I don't really need this plant. $32 comes back. I'm going to mark it again. And I still don't want 32, to be honest. I'm going to pass, actually. We know Holt can't buy a plant, so this is going to go to amitss1. amitss1 is not really in a great position to buy a plant either. They might be, well, he might be able to buy 32 and still build a 4th city here. Maybe. I could maybe see amitss1 going for 32, although I don't agree with that play. Oil's just been made expensive enough that 32 is not really a great value right now. Oh my god, fuck my life. Why did Holt do that? There goes my 11 now. There goes my 11. amitss1 might not buy any uranium this turn, actually. He might just, because he still has a coal? Yeah, stored on 29. He needs to build this turn. I think he's just gonna, I think he could probably only afford to build to 4 here, or can he get to 5? I don't know, this is interesting. The play for me, I think, is to stay where I'm at and not buy uranium. Just burn my coal on the 8 that I bought for $9 total and use that. I really don't like buying 2 6 capacity plants early in the game. Even though they were both at cost, that's going to hurt Holt's money making. Like, Holt's still only powering 3 cities this turn. That's awful for this stage of the game. Just awful. And I definitely want to stay at 4 because that'll put me below amitss1 in the turn order, which is good. This 8 plant is turning out to have a lot of long-term value. I don't know why Holt bought the bought that uranium. Kind of weird. I can go for 20 now, though. That's for sure. I can definitely bid for 20 here. We know Holt can't bid for plants. Amitss can't really bid for a plant either. So it's, yeah. I don't know why Holt's staying in this auction. It should be between me and Soledad. And frankly, even Soledad shouldn't push this too hard. Alright, let me look at what's left in the auction here. Good amount of junk. 26, but even 26 is not going to be amazing with 32 there in the game. 33 is a slight chance to come on. There'd be 31, which would be, eh. This is still worth a good chunk of change. I'm pretty sure. Do I really need this, though? I don't think I need 20 past that price. Because I have the option of burning coal here to keep coal from getting too cheap in this situation. Let's see how much Holt builds this turn. I'm just going to max out coal in the 8 here. I'll even replace the 11 if I have to in a future turn. Because, again, I'm not going to push step 2 right now. Don't think that's in my interest. I think I have to play the turn order game here. This is now good because amitss needs to build to 5. Or does he? You know what? I'm just going to stay here. I'm not under pressure to build a 5th city now. amitss, I think, needs to build a 5th, which I expect to be Can here. Because amitss needs to use that 34. Yep, as expected. He even builds a 6th. Okay, because 29 does make a profit still. So, that makes some sense. What's interesting about this is, I could actually build to 6 and stay bottom in the turn order, perhaps. Well, no, Soledad is going to stay at 5. He's fenced in really good with builds. I do think getting up to 6 is in my favor, though. Right? Is it? Is it really? It's not in my favor to trigger step 2, that's for sure. Not yet, anyway. Not until I can at least get a 4 capacity plant out of the deal. Alright. I do think I buy 2 uranium, though. I want to use uranium, get more use out of that plant. It's just a question of, do I buy extra coal or not? That's an issue here. And I don't think I can, unfortunately. Well, If I'm not going to trigger step 2, I can do this. And I do think I need to try to make coal a little more expensive to hurt Soledad, because Soledad's looking to be in the best position right now. Okay, Holt's going to play the turn order game now. All right. That's cool. Keep holding on to that coal on the 4 there. He's going to need to burn that soon, though. Well, I guess not too soon, but soonish. Thought I was doing well in this game, and then the market stalled. I maybe should have been willing to pay more for 25 or 20. Yeah. Now I think is the time for me to just buy extra uranium and not buy extra coal anymore. $21. All right. I'll actually go for this. Because there's a very good chance 28... Actually, it's highly unlikely for 28 to drop. So I might get a good deal on 21 here. Perfect replacement for the 8 in this situation. Amitss is bidding me good, though. Give him credit on this. God damn it, 26 actually came. It's like the one plan I would have rather had than 21. Boo. And now he's going to get it friggin' cheap. God damn it. And 19 to stall the market. All right. I don't know why Amitss was going... Oh, man. That's painful. 26 was the only plant that could have come that would have made me regret 21, and it came. And Amitss got it at cost. Fuck me. Now this is interesting. I don't want to build up top now. This is very bad. So... shit. I don't even know what to do here. And now Holt switches to trash instead of oil. Good move. I think I'll just do the double here. Just do 2 coal, 2 oil. I'm not really sure which one needs attacking more at this point. That cheap 26 makes me want to attack oil at least some. That uranium's going to end up wasting money, I swear. Because we get step 3 card coming next. At least I'm not top. This is going to be a terrible set of choices for step 3. I'll burn the oil, definitely hold on to the coal. The problem is amitss is going to pass on plants next turn. Because there's only a 5 capacity plant for me, I have to buy 35 next turn. It's going to suck. It's going to suck. I have to buy this. Fuck my life, I have to buy this. And I think I'm just dead now. Because if I could have gotten at least a 6 capacity plant this turn, I'd be fine, I think. I'd be doing okay, but... yeah. Actually, Soledad might want to bid for this, because he can upgrade to 15 capacity and potentially end the game here. Although, I don't know. I mean, you would have to think that Holt will buy a plant too, though. And Holt can easily take a capacity lead here now. I have no choice but to buy this. And no choice but to demolish 22, since I already have uranium stored there. And there's 50, which would have been so much better for me right now. Alas. Okay, this is tough now. So we are kind of dicey here. Although almost all the bad plants came this turn from the step 3 market. I guess building to 6 was my mistake in this game. I don't know, it's just... I felt like I needed to attack coal. But I guess I could have stayed at 4 and attacked coal instead of using the 11. Well, I think we know Soledad's going to have to build to 14 to stop amitss from ending the game. So we know that's going to come. The nice thing is I'm at least guaranteed to get Paris in some form. We know Holt has to build Paris, but I need to block amitss out of Paris for sure. We have all the 7 capacity plants are in the game and we haven't seen any yet, so it's almost guaranteed that one of them at least will show up in the next turn. Problem is, the question is, can Holt end the game on the next turn? That would be the issue, because we all need to fight for the 7s right now. I somehow need to get a 7 and have Soledad and amitss not get a 7 in order for this to be a game at all. I mean, this is interesting for Holt now. Holt has problems. Yep. We know Holt has to build into Paris and try to block me up here. He's not going to do that, though. Okay. If he's really going to leave Le Mans open for me, I'll take it. Shit. I have to build Le Mans in Paris. I think Tours is the best option now. Yeah. Might as well take these cheap cities while I can still get them at all before amitss blocks me out of them. Because I should be able to go into this stuff later on the next turn. I'm going to go low in the turn order too, which is nice. And I really need that right now. Soledad is going to be stuck up top almost certainly. All right, amitss builds above. No, amitss does stay below me too. 34 versus 35 for tiebreaker. Okay, so he's gonna get these in the next turn, and more of this stuff probably. Unfortunately. Yeah, one way or another, I'm just screwed here. I think. Uh-oh, there's one of those 7 plants. Nice thing is, I'm in a position where I can safely buy this. Holt's obviously not going to buy a plant this turn, that's for sure. So it's between all of us for these. Sure. Oh, god damn it. Alright. Well, this game's ending then, one way or another. Yeah. My hunch is amitss wins this game. I don't think Holt's going to have the money to make it to 18. Although it seemed like amitss was cutting it close with our bidding for the 36. It seemed like amitss is cutting it close on whether he could get to 17 or not, but I think he'll make it there. Unfortunately, I think he'll make it there. All right. Yeah, I think this is game over, though. I think amitss wins it now. Only question is whether or not Holt can get to 18. I'm going to be in last. Building to 6 turned out to be a mistake for me, I think. Yep, there it is. There it is right there. Yep. And Holt's not going to make it to 18, it sounds like, judging from the way they were speaking. So amitss wins this game. That damn 26 drop. That was huge. 26 dropping immediately after 21 in that bidding there. That was what won the game for them, I think, ultimately. For amitss. Him and the 29, I think, was, it was fair. Fair price for the 29. Actually, maybe even paid too much for 29. But that 26 drop turned out to make the difference. Wow, I actually don't get last. Although I would have not been great next turn, since Holt would not need to buy a plant for 18, and I still would. Soledad would have been in the worst shape of any of us going into next turn, since he would have had to get the last 7 plant in the game. Oh, wow. amitss said exactly enough to build to 17. Holy shit. Okay, this was really close then. Alright, good win to amitss. Razor close, good win. Soledad was definitely the richest player. That much was obvious. Obvious throughout the game. Because Soledad was clearly going to end the game at 16 if amitss couldn't end it. Even if I get to 16, if amitss gets to 16, Soledad builds to 17 and beats us on money. All right, good game to everyone, and see you later.